Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to welcome you to the fourth week, preparing for the fourth week of the Old Habits Die Hard. Sorry, of the GMA Community Cup. Sigtal Lord welcoming you to the Let's Talk About the League podcast. Got a little tongue-tied there, but one guy that's always on his game. Joining me as my co-host today is Great Beard of Odin. Odin, how you doing, my man?
Feeling pretty fantastic. I'm ready to bring a little extra spice to make up for not having that third host today. So let's do this tonight.
Well, good stuff. We're just trying to sort out some technical issues on my end, folks. I can't tell you why Prowler sounds a little quiet, but turn your audio up and we'll adjust and cope together. So this upcoming week, say again.
I'm hoping Prowler sounds pretty quiet since he's not in this lobby.
Oh Lord! All right, guys. So I'm gonna take a second, and I am going to personally recoup, and I want to invite you to join me in this moment of introspection. I am calm, I'm collected, and I'm ready to get hype about some high-quality GMA gaming play. So, Odin, my esteemed guest, we've both had the benefit of enjoying a fantastic set of games this past weekend. We're going to hop into talking about those here in a moment, but before we do, I want to let everyone know about the success we had at the J4 1v1 tournament the other day. The incredible caster Jeff walked away with the championship after 2 hours of intense 1v1s on the next king of Demacia himself, J4. And it was fantastic to see the amount of engagement that we had. People were really hype about the tournament. And that makes me so happy. We want to hold events that you guys enjoy. We ended up raising an additional $40 for Feed America. For those that don't know, first-time listener friends, during this cup, we've teamed with Team Feed. Team Feed is Feeding America, and they work with a network of food banks across the United States to provide food to those in need. We've raised $510 total, and while that might not sound like a lot, that's over 5,000 meals, because according to Feeding America, they're able to stretch every dollar to provide at least 10 meals in the communities we live in. To match the efforts that you guys put in donating, and from the events we have individualized, GMA Gaming will be donating 10 meals or $1 for every Elder Drake and every Pentakill. And you guys have really started racking up the till for us. So I'm excited for the good that we're doing, and I'm thankful for our players that are participating in this great cause. So please head to YouTube, check out the VOD from us playing in that tournament. It was so fun. I hope you'll join us for events we have in the future. But let's talk about this last week of games. Game 1 of week 3 was Northern Storm versus Non Lives. You say you're bringing the spice. Let's start off on a entry level sriracha level, like sriracha that is fresh out of the bottle, mixed with a little bit of maybe some kind of cream to nullify the taste. What do you got on that game for that?
Okay, well, let's first off, I was impressed with how well 9 Lives seem to play with 2 new subs coming in. They put together a pretty solid game. But I was actually surprised game 1. I thought it was gonna end up being pretty landslide how it started off with. I call point out he looked like pretty int on Irelia there for a minute, and then all of a sudden he was able to pop back off and bring that game a lot closer. So credit to both teams. For Northern Storm trying to bring that game into what looked like it was about to be a blowout into more of an even state, and that first game was a pretty good banger, and it was nice to see Pony on a carry even though it didn't pay out for him.
No, but he did have a stellar performance on that Aurelia. I enjoyed this set of games, and I'm always pleased when new replacements. We hate losing players. But we are thankful for those that stepped in. Thank you so much to Faux Eden and Menards. You guys have been really great. It seems like you guys are meshing really well. We're so glad you're with us. Uh, so that was a fun set. I think we're going to see a lot of stellar performances out of this new non-lives roster, and I think that this was a learning moment for Northern Storm, and I'm looking forward to seeing what adaptations players like Pointy, players like the bot lane from Northern Storm made. Uh, is talking about stellar first performances. It was very good to see Van Hohenheim back, and him getting the solo kill as a support in the top lane, playing a Nivea. Like, that's a sentence you don't get to say every day, especially when against a set that's pretty fed. So, it stinks they lost in the way that they did. But boy, oh boy, can you see the potential? You can almost just visualize them in playoffs with some of the moments they had in this game. So I'm excited to see what growth they have. Still a lot of fun to be had. So let's talk about set two. White Wolf Gaming versus Team Phoenix. What are your thoughts, Odin?
Well, yeah. So I've been calling Team Phoenix like the party bus team. So far this split, I think their bus is on fire right now. They did not look great this set. At least my personal opinion. I don't want to take credit away any kind of credit away from Zami Fun's Fiora. He looked phenomenal on the pick. But especially that game two, it looked heavily like it was Phoenix shooting themselves in the foot over and over. Was just missing their missing their CC, and engaging on the tanks instead of the carries. It really seemed like Phoenix was not, I guess, not coordinated this week. They just were not on the same page with each other and just not team fighting well. While I think, yeah, like I said, Vami had a great performance on that. Fiora, I think a lot of that game was Phoenix just really hurting themselves.
So my question would be: is what adaptations do you think they make going into this upcoming week? They are going to have a sub. Jester from last split played incredibly well. Uh, Coming in for Alonzi, the new Alonzi, no longer Alonzi Tardis. Uh, what adaptations do you make? Because White Wolf, I mean, they're on a rampage. The one game they lost, as I shouted out before, was really a draft error. And if you get many more performances out of Zami Fun like that, I mean, they're going to be walking away with the cup. So what do you do to adjust if you're Phoenix?
I think what happened there I think personally watching the game, it looked like there was some kind of breakdown in communication where they just weren't sure of who to be going in on. Um, and just like some mechanical issues, like you saw Orin multiple team fights missing his ult. That would have that hitting that second part of the ult would have been huge in team fights. And knowing the targets to engage on, jumping in on a tank, Amumu is not the guy you want to be blowing all of your major CC cooldowns on. When you have a Fed Fiora or the ADC that are a little more important targets versus the tank. So it's just working on, I think, on that communication, and then again, I don't know who's their shot caller on that team. Being vocal about who to go after and those prime picks versus getting baited into a fight by the tank.
Sorry, folks. I just realized I was muted when I was trying to talk there for a minute. So, is this a growing pain? Like them growing as a team? I feel like they have the communication opportunities. I think that they're going to do better. We can see the individual skill there, but maybe they just aren't as in line as we thought they were when this cup started.
Yeah, so, I definitely hope to stumble for them and not going to be a recurring trend going forward. I hope they definitely can recover from this. I know a lot of them play together, so there's definitely that plenty of opportunity for them to re-get aligned. But we've seen teams have one bad week and then kind of fall apart later going on. So I'm hoping they can recover going forward. I guess we'll just have to see what they do this coming week to prepare. Hopefully they put some practice to find that same page again.
Well, I think that they're going to have some strengths. I think they're going to grow. I'm excited for their upcoming week, and we'll talk about that here soon. So, in terms of our third set, I'm very hyped to hear your opinions on this one. It's O12 versus Blitzkrieg. Uh,
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
tell me about that set.
Yeah, so I guess instead of analyzing, I kind of give you kind of this kind of inside perspective of our how our team is doing. Going in that game, we were obviously hyped. Blitzkrieg has a lot of hype around them as being the best team, and we want to be that team to go in there and give them that first loss. Obviously that didn't happen. Blitzkrieg is very deserving of that hype. That game one was honestly a rough game to play. Um, it's I kind of described it as kind of being a suffocating experience playing against them. We were consistently just getting out rotated and out team fought, and on our side we just had a breakdown in comms in the team. Um, to the point where we were starting to get a little heated with each other. When that game, that game looked closer than it definitely felt. We were consistently on the back foot of that game, um, and it didn't look. It wasn't great for us. And then going into game two, for us, you could really tell that the mood in the comms changed, where you could tell none of us really wanted to be there for that second game. I think pretty much everyone had checked out, and that was really indicative of our performance. I think most of us just wanted to get out. We had this is a rough week for us. Blitzkrieg played really well, and they made a very, very strong case for why they're the best team in the league right now, and we just weren't able to rise up to it. And right now we're in a pretty low spot that we need to try to figure out how to go from to get out of and go from going forward.
So I don't want to play like psychologist or anything, but like this is a real conversation we really don't have in this community a whole lot. And that's that sometimes you just have to own up that there's some things that you have to work through. I feel like you guys can just by identifying that the level of performance I'm sure is going to automatically improve going into the next week. Just having honest and candid conversations with each other about what to do and what to perform. Conversations get heated in a game. That's part of caring. We want each and every player in this league to care about what's happening. It's not just a for fun league. People's hearts and their minds really go into this. So hearing that you guys have that level of care, I think that there's still so much more that you're going to be able to accomplish, and you starting to identify that, it's going to be huge. You still have tons of opportunities to really get it all together before playoffs are really an issue for you. So, my questions would be, uh, as someone that watched the game, um, what are your thoughts about Smokey? Let's start there. This was his first week with the league, really. Even though he is the permanent player for Blitzkrieg, he did have to have a sub for the first 2 weeks, who did an incredible job. Liz left quite a reputation for him to try to live up to. Uh, what what do you think of that support?
Yeah, I think he played pretty solid. I think one big thing about like Blitzkrieg, it's hard to just like isolate one member on that team for it being like standing out. They just play together very well. Anytime you think you have like a solo pick, all of a sudden their whole team is just there. And coming in already, Smokey's seems to be right on board with that. It's wherever you go, they always seem to be there. You're always running into uneven matchups, and Smokey seemed to slide into that perfectly so far. At least that's how it. At least how it seemed. I didn't really pay attention to what happened, in landing phase bot side, but once you got to the team's fights, it's the team looked pretty cohesive to us.
Well, with the outcome, it's very difficult not to say that they didn't perform well. I think it's still worth commending the performance that Option 12 put on. Uh, Now we are going to take a look at the standings now. Now we have recapped that. Um, with the standings, currently in first place is Blitzkrieg with 9 points. In second place, White Wolf Gaming with 7. Option 12 still has 4. Nine Lives has 3. Phoenix has 3. Northern Storm is still not on the board yet. So with these standings, the way they are, Odin, and looking at what we're looking at with 2 more weeks of play, regular season play, uh, who are your early shout outs to make it to playoffs? What 4 teams?
Obviously Blitzkrieg. I don't think they shouldn't drop a game for the rest of the regular season. White Wolf is making it. I'm pretty sure they just need to at least make one win each week, and they shouldn't make it. I don't see them all of a sudden getting bumped out. And it's probably it's gonna be a battle between the option 12 Nine Lives and Phoenix for those last 2 spots. Um, we'll have to see how that ends. I know Phoenix still has a lot of fight with them, and they're going into a tough matchup this coming week. And with option 12, we're also still doing their struggling things. I got a feeling with Nine Lives subs, they'll probably take that 3rd spot, and it'll be a real battle for that 4th spot between. I think I'm hoping option 12, and I think Phoenix.
Well, there's a lot of movement available. There's still more than enough time for some of these players to make it or not to make it. I know next week we'll probably have a better vision of what the final standings will look like going into the end of the season. But it's still very contentious who will make it in the playoffs. So Odin, I know that was pretty tense, but you know what I like to do when I like to relax? I like to get on all of the various GMA gaming social medias. And the one that we are going to highlight again this week is the TikTok ran by our social media director, Peach. So let's take a look at some of the TikToks that he's made. This is Fiora's triple kill from Zammy during last week's game.
Sammy swoops in there.
So we're gonna go one more time. One more time. Ready? Get ready. Get set.
Oh, that's Sivir.
No transitions. We're not transitioning clips anymore.
Swoops in there. Great flash play. The tower does manage to kill. Oh, that's Sivir.
Just an incredible
Sammy
dive under the tower.
He great flash play.
About what
the tower does manage to
he
kill.
just knew it was time to go.
Sammy
next up, we do have the
great flash
Blitzkrieg
play.
bot lane versus
the tower
012.
does manage to kill.
I think it's a pretty interesting
See
play.
to get back to lane.
You think that it's going to have a clear outcome, but it most assuredly doesn't. As a 1-for-1 is traded, huge
but
getting
now, once
the
again,
return
the
kill
ADC
for his
dies.
ADC.
See to get
keeping,
back to lane.
Keeping
a lot
of
CS picked up, but now Prowler's going to
very fun, very exciting. We thank you,
but now,
Pete,
once
for
again, the
clipping.
ADC dies.
If you have
See to get back
a
to lane.
scene,
if
you have anything GMA
Prowler's
related
going to
happen
maybe
in one of our
die.
streams,
But now, once
I want to invite you to please go ahead, shoot me on Discord, hit me up on Facebook, whatever you got to do. Send me those timestamps. One of the hardest things for me to do is to go through and try and find out exactly when something happened, even if I know it happened. Content production takes time. So shoot me those links, shoot me those timestamps. We'll get you featured in the podcast. So let's hop into talking about next week's games, Odin. Next week, our games are played in order. They start at 5:30 Central Time, and this is August the 8th. The games will play in order. The first set is Option 12 versus Northern Storm. Let me bring that schedule up, folks. As I said, it is Option 12 versus Northern Storm, 9 Lives versus White Wolf Gaming, and set 3 will be Team Phoenix versus Team Blitzkrieg. I think a pretty fantastic set of games. This will be a very important week for a few teams on that night of play. So let's get some predictions out there. Odin, set 1. Option 12, Northern Storm. Do you guys think you've got this? Is this Northern Storm's chance to rally, or are you guys walking away with the 2-0?
Yeah, like I said, we are not in a great spot right now, I think, mentally as a team. So we got to do some figuring things out. If we can't come back together, Northern Storm will take us. But reality is, I think this set will probably be a 1-1. I think Northern Storm still has a lot to do to try to figure out how to make their team comps work, especially with Van Hohenheim not playing traditional support spot lane. That takes away a lot of utility from the team. And he plays these really gold-heavy champions down there that, need gold to start popping off. So if he doesn't get kills, they're essentially down now to a 4v5 with a pseudo carry in the support role that's not ahead. So as long as we can keep the bot lane contained, I think we can at least get one win off of Northern Storm. I think it should be a pretty good set.
Well, hype. So, what's your official call on it?
I'm gonna go with the 1-1 right now, just due to the whole team issues at the moment. If we came out of the last series more confident, I would give us the 2-0. But right now, I'm gonna be a little more reserved and go for the 1-1.
Hype. All right. Well, you've got some opportunity here, Northern Storm. I'm excited to see you try and capitalize on it. I am going to give it 2-0 to option 12. I do feel like you have some issues, but really this is Northern Storm's game to prove, not yours. I personally believe some small calibrations, and you guys walk away with these W's. Next set, we have Nine Lives versus White Wolf Gaming. Nine Lives is looking much stronger. After last week, it's hard not to argue that. White Wolf Gaming has been on a tear through this league. I'm going to give it the 1-1. I think Nine Lives could be a potential spoiler for the power player that is White Wolf Gaming. The community didn't have faith, and White Wolf really didn't care that people didn't have faith. They performed so well. And Nine Lives, after some adjustment, it seems like everybody is really working well together. So until I see otherwise, I'm going to go with the 1-1. Odin, what about you?
Yeah, so like I definitely think Nine Lives is definitely on that upswing right now, coming off a pretty big performance, and I think they're only going to get better. I do think it's going to be a 1-1. It's all going to come down to whether or not they can, I think, contain Zammy in the top lane. He's made a pretty strong case for himself to be a strong carry for that team, and I think it depends on how they play that top side of the map between top and mid lane. That's really what's going to determine the game.
Well, good stuff. What's the official declaration there?
We're gonna go with the cop-out safe answer of that 1-1.
You call it safe. I call it ambitious.
I think it's a safe answer here.
Well, let's talk about set 3, and that's Blitzkrieg versus Phoenix. Phoenix is going to have a sub. Blitzkrieg appears to be the final boss of the league. So I'm wondering if the sub helps or hurts. Usually, I would say it is more likely that the sub will not be cohesive. But you call it the party bus. I think even without Alon Z Tardis, Alon Z now, the party still continues. Jester is good friends with Peach. A support jungle that has pre-built synergy is probably one of the best combos in League of Legends, in my opinion, at least in five player organized play, because that's your engage, especially at RELO. That's your map awareness. Those are the guys warden more than anybody. Those are the guys who are the ones leading the fight. If they're on the same page, I think it's going to be pretty hype. I'm giving this the 1-1, and this is off the Jester hype. I think that he's an incredibly strong player. I think Gregosaurus showed a stronger performance last week, even on losses, than potentially the week before. So nothing but up. I'm gonna buy big and invest in a 1-game victory for Phoenix. Calling the 1-1 right now. What about you, Odin?
Yeah, well, I think Chester's gonna have impact this game. I think he's a fantastic jungler. I mean, I thought he was the second best jungler based on the performance last split. But I don't think he'll be enough. I think this is gonna come down to what Blitzkrieg decides to show up. I know, like Pistol likes to just kind of play. Sometimes likes to play some goofy shit. Let's be real. He kind of just picks random stuff up. And I think right now they're pretty safe to make playoffs. So I think they might be starting to just do some weird things. If they do that, they could drop a game. But if they keep this very hard focus, actually playing real meta picks for their lanes that they have been playing, I don't think Phoenix has an answer for them. I think this will be a 2-0 for Blitzkrieg.
All right. Well, that's probably the safest prediction you've made so far, and you've said the other two were pretty safe. Well, Odin, any last thoughts on this upcoming set of games? 3 sets of games.
I just hope we see 3 banger series. I don't want to see any blowouts this week. I want to see some actually close games that that are actually enjoyable to watch and for the players to really enjoy it. It's as being a player who's been in games that just aren't fun to be in. I'm really hoping this set is when losing, they're fun games for all the teams here, and I hope every team just really brings it and competes for those playoff spots.
It's going to be a good time. Uh, we look forward to seeing you there again. Games start at 5:30, and games are played in order. So be there or be square. So a little bit of housekeeping to wrap us all up. So, folks, we did have a fantastic 1v1 tournament. That was a milestone hit from our Feeding America fundraising. We had another fundraiser milestone hit, and that was for the Among Us stream. That was pushed back a week. We had a lot of players being vocal that they just wouldn't be able to attend this event that they were very excited for. So we've pushed it back. It will now be on the 14th of this month. We hope everyone will show up. This is alcohol suggested. You can be sober when you're there, but if you want to have a drink, we want to encourage it. As long as you are old enough, of course. Of course, safety first. Also, yesterday during the 1v1 tournament, we did hit another milestone. We hit the GMA Gaming Community Cup All-Star Game. That is going to be voted on by you, the community, for 10 players who are playing in our Community Cup to be the All-Stars, playing in at least 3 games. We're still working out the format, and we'll have more permanent information for you during next week's podcast. During the week of the semifinals, the week of August the 22nd, we will have the All-Star Games. So if the 22nd is a Sunday, that means the 17th will be the All-Star Games. Folks, I hope you will join us on the 17th for these All-Star Games. They will happen in lieu of a GCF. We have done so much content creation over the past week. I want to give a shout out to my content creation team. Thank you, Wishbone, for making a beautiful logo for the 1v1 tournament. Thank you for everybody that volunteered clips. Thank you to Peach and Idol that stepped up and emceed that event yesterday. You guys were great casters, great MCs. You made it a huge success. Thank you to everyone that has participated over the past few weeks. This has been a trying and difficult time for some of you, and you've really went above and beyond to meet your commitments. Thank you. I really appreciate that. The last bit that I'm going to harass you about is we've been quiet about it so far on the podcast, but guys, we're able to keep the lights on and pay for prize support and really keep this channel alive. We don't spend a lot of money, but what we do spend is pretty important. And what we need to keep that income flowing are those Twitch Prime subscriptions. If you get free shipping on anything from Amazon, you're eligible for Twitch Prime. Please. That sub, will you stretch those dollars really far, and we appreciate you gifting them to us. I don't have anything else to plug. Odin, yourself?
Just hope everyone tunes in this Sunday for our next series of games and come watch me in our first set. It'll be a lot of fun.
I don't believe that's going to happen. Well, folks, this has been your digital lord and savior, Sigtal Lord, joined by the incredible mid laner for Option 12's Great Beard of Odin. You have listened to us as we enjoyed each other's company, and next week I hope you will join us when we again talk about the league. Thank you, and have a great night.